Yes, we are live. Good evening and welcome to another Urbex and Yorkshire Paranormal session. So tonight we are here to talk about the video you have just seen Saturday night at 9 p.m. We are going to wait for a special guest to join us. So we are going to be putting a link in the description for that special guest only. And then we'll get this thing kicked off. Right. Let's try and find the comment section. There we go. How are we doing, my story report? So feel free to jump on, my friend. Come and join the party. Good evening, everybody. So hopefully the people who are joining us live have just watched the video. Show us your face. What? West Audit Report. Show me your face in the background, mate. No one else can see it apart from me. Just so I know it's you. There we go. Good lad. You can turn that camera off now, mate. I'm not bad abandoned places. I'm not bad. Let's get war. Let's add war to the stage. War, good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I just had to turn the other bit off in the background. So we're echoing back, but yeah, I'm all good.
Good. So what did you think to my editing skills for that video, my friend?
Whoa.
And he's disappeared. Don't worry about it, guys. He always does that. Just wait for him to come back in. It will be right back. It will be by the moment. Come on, Mr. War. Right, let's get him back on.
Hello, I'm back. I hit a button. I hit chat, and it went all funny.
Yeah, you need to stop doing that, mate. You still there?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, I can see the screen now.
I'm going to have to ban you from these panels, mate, because you don't know what you're doing.
I don't know what I'm doing. It's all new to me.
So,
I'm here now. Won't touch the screen, honest.
let's start again.
Yes.
The video.
Yes.
Did you enjoy it?
I certainly did. There were things in there that I didn't get to see from your aspect, and obviously we haven't shared very much except in chatting about it. So to see them orbs, because you said to me right towards the end, "Whoa, look at those!" and I couldn't see them. When I came over, obviously they were all floating around me in that doorway. Now, when I watched that, I didn't realise they were so large and so grouped. They were almost partial parts of people floating around.
They was getting ready, or I think they was at least trying to manifest, mate.
Yeah.
Because obviously I put an instant replay on it, and I'm going to put it in slow motion. And the big massive orb, what I said, looked like it had a tail. It looked like it had two parts to it. Huge.
It was swarming around me.
I've seen a lot of orbs since I've been doing this.
Yeah.
And I've never seen one that big, basically.
Well, on my video, right at the beginning, I actually put it on because I was so impressed. There were like 3 orbs stuck together. It looked like a shoulder of a person, and it travelled away from my camera through some of the wooden beams and off down that corridor. So that in itself impressed me. But seeing yours were even more impressive because they were floating around me and they were going all over. Now, just before that happened, I think we were speaking about the children, and at one point around my right leg, it felt like there were hands grabbing my knee and things like that. It was really strange, and it made me step away. But you also had the camera up at top, and there were orbs floating at that point. So there were a lot of things in that room with us, a lot of spirits.
Yeah, it was absolutely mental, mate.
I'm impressed with it. Impressed because I pick up on a lot of this, as you know. I sense a lot of things. I get images thrown at me. I get names thrown at me. I hear voices, not in a strange way. And then I'll see images, not images. I'll see things moving and shimmering and that sort of thing. All that were happening, and there was not just happening occasionally, it was happening all the time. I kept on getting drawn out to look at something around the corner, and I couldn't quite catch it. And it kind of reminded me of, where was it, the railway station pub or something that we did over in Wigan. And it was similar to that, where there was something popping around the doorway. I could see it, but I couldn't catch it on my camera. I wasn't quick enough. It was just like odd little things. There were loads going on in them rooms.
The railway, that were a good one.
Yeah. I thought we might have got some images like that. I really wanted them on my camera. But unfortunately, like your 2 little cameras, didn't work, strangely enough. And my 2 got locked out. I got the test video that I did before I went in there. I could see the wallpaper in my living room, the carpet, and that worked. And then I put the camera down in that doorway, and I got about 3 minutes, and then it stopped. And the other camera that I had in my hands, and I was looking at the orbs with you when you were saying, look at these orbs, and I was looking in it's only like 2 inches of screen, and I saw the orbs that didn't record. So we've spoke about how we're going to deal with that in future. But there were a lot of things going on.
We certainly have, mate. And I'll tell you what as well.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I need to start taking on these paranormals. My
toilet paper. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
And I need to start taking, trying to capture images and stuff like we did at Rich Lee.
Yeah. I mean, I've got the old hunting camera. I think I had it with me, and I don't know why I didn't place it down. Because that's unfaultable. 5 pictures and a 5-second video, and anything moving in the dark, and it's night vision. I should have put that down. Didn't think. Forgot all about it.
That's
So
for
we'll
sure.
use that next time.
So
But it's still all it's still all learning. We're learning as we're going along. We're improving.
Yeah, I particularly like the ending where I was sort of doing my outro, and then the bell went off, and I stood up and walked off, and it just ended. I thought you couldn't have timed that bell
Yeah.
any better.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
couldn't have been timed better. It was
Yeah. And that were in the other room. That were a good 20 foot away from you.
Yeah, and it was so loud, and it was such a good way to go out with that.
Yeah.
So,
But whilst we were packing away and the camera off, just more and more pressure on us. It just felt we couldn't get out of there quick enough. It was just like so intense. I mean, I personally don't let things like that weigh on me. I just pick it up and I sense it.
yeah.
But I were feeling like there were loads of people in there with sticks ready to start spraying us.
Yes,
It just felt so bad.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone's got any connections to Most Haunted, send them this video, and we'll put them to shame.
Told you about the Most Haunted, haven't I?
I already know about them.
Yeah, I was on their VIP list, and I turned them down about 3 times, mate.
Yes, you did. Yeah,
they tried to get me on there about 3 different times. Promised me all sorts, and I went no.
Yeah.
And that was that Carl and a psychic guy. Yeah. No, well, yeah, her, but she didn't think it. Was Carl and the other guy that tried for a member of my family on 3 occasions, and then no, I just yeah, I was nice about it, but no, ain't happening. And it's not that I'm better or bigger or anything. It's just no, not doing it with them.
So
say again.
I said, when you met me.
So guys, we've got plenty of cameras, but unfortunately, some of the cameras just get hammered. We've got some things in place. Me and AY spoke about this, how we can protect those cameras. I'm
just going to make a coffee, mate.
Yeah. I'll talk to people. Yeah. So we're planning on trying to fortify the cameras from static attack, because I think that's partially what it is. Because we had the K2 meters there, and we could see a lot of backwards and forward movement, and then the REN pod just kept on occasionally spiking, but the K2 meters were fluctuating and showing us that there was like movement in and out. So we could gauge it. I could sense a lot of it. I could feel a lot of movement coming in, but the cameras right in line. So whatever were coming through, they were constantly being walked over or floated over, whatever way you want to. I mean, there were some floaters and there were some walkers. We actually heard people. Well, we heard people walking around or something walking around the floor above us, and that building actually has 4 different floors, and every floor above was very, very similar in rooms above, rooms above,
similar,
all the way up.
Very similar in layout.
Yeah, but the first time we went and we had Keith with us, I was the last person to sort of get onto that corridor. You two just shot off and floated off upstairs and went to the roof just to have a look. So I had to follow, but my camera's on that corridor down there. I never went down to it because I could sense it. There were a lot of spirits down there. And then when we came down, I said, "It's all in here, guys," and that was it. And we went back straight to that place downstairs, and it kicked off that night. It really kicked off, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
Massively.
Yeah.
So that was the night,
some
guys,
concerns.
When we actually saw the apparitions. Well, War was seeing stuff all the time. It's pretty much used to that anyway. And for first time ever, I actually saw like a black silhouette. Actually,
I pointed it out to you.
Yeah,
I pointed it out, and it was actually when we were in that room, and people will have watched this video now. When we were in that room the other night, it was that door. It was like a reddy brown door. And I was saying to you, can't you see it? Because it was so blatant to me. And then you sort of stood and looked and you opened up your mind. And then you went, yeah. And then you described it. I never told you exactly where it was.
Yeah.
But then you started telling me what it looked like. So I knew you started seeing it there and then. Because I'll never give everything over to somebody to sort of convince them and to make them believe it. I'll always give a little bit of a lead and let the person come back and tell me. If it's not what I'm seeing, then it's somewhere else or somewhere else. And then I'll try to see that. But you described it exactly as I was seeing it. So, yeah, you picked up on a lot of stuff now. It's working well for you.
What I'm currently doing, guys, is I'm going to put the link in the description of the video you've just watched for the first visit. So you can click on that. It'll take you to our first visit in the location what you've just watched.
Yeah.
That was when we didn't have as much equipment. We didn't even have night vision then. But
should have had a few cat balls and 1K2, wasn't it?
Yeah. So link to first visit. We're going to whack that in case you guys want to watch it. So that is now in the description for this video. But yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about the death whistle. So
yes,
I don't. First visit. So people might not really understood what I was talking about when I was going on about it, saying that I've blown it before and stuff like that. So when I first got it, I actually I was out filming one day and I blew the whistle in my car on the way home, and it kind of partially damaged my ears for a good, say, 24 hours, over 24 hours. So I'd never recommend anyone to blow it in a car or, closed areas. Definitely don't do that. But I actually blew it again in a field. I randomly stopped at this big, massive field and I blew it. I made a video, an explanation video of what it is. I never published that video because there was just too much wind. I blew it a good 5 or 6 times, 7 times maybe. Obviously, in the middle of nowhere, there's going to be nothing about, no paranormal activity, etc. It didn't make me feel anything. It didn't give me any feelings. I just thought it's bloody loud and it's frigging annoying. Yeah. And then when I blew it in the location where we were, something just felt different, and I mean massively different. So when I blew it, I just got just an instant bout of anxiety. It was a big, massive anxiety rush, and I could feel the blood rushing around my body. The cat ball immediately went off when I blew it. That could have been because of the sensitivity of the decimals. I don't know what could have set that cat ball off. The cat ball went off, and I shit my pants essentially. Yeah. And yeah, it was just crazy. It was absolutely nuts. I was convinced at that time, and on leaving, I'm never going to blow it again.
No.
Obviously, a couple of days went by. Nothing followed me home. Nothing possessed me. I'm definitely going to blow it again.
Well,
don't blow
it definitely had an effect in that place. Things just changed. Yes. It's like walking out in the middle of winter from a nice warm house, like walking out into snow and stuff. It felt that instant.
Yeah, it was instant. It was literally instant.
I'd say within about 12, 15 seconds, it just felt like there were loads of people coming into the room. It was that quick. And it just constantly got higher and higher to a point. I'd say after about a minute and a half, it didn't get any stronger after that. But it certainly had a presence, and it was there even when we were leaving. It was there. We noted it after the camera was off. We both said,
as you saw in. So, as everybody saw, I went into night vision 2 times prior to going into night vision for the last time, there was not many orbs about at all. There was hardly any, if any, at all. I think during one night vision session, which was the first one, I don't think there were any orbs at all. The second night vision, I think I saw a couple. But then when that whistle got blew, and we went into night vision for the third time, it just went nuts. You could see them all coming in. You could see them all. And they was all coming to us. There was all around war. They were going from him to me. It was just absolutely crazy, which is why I said in the video, for anybody who doesn't, or who had doubts that, it's just a pile of shit and it don't work, that's your proof it does work.
Well, yeah. I mean, that. Well, I was convinced as soon as you blew it because I felt the difference. But from a visual level of being convinced, the orbs itself just totally changed. Especially when I've seen this tonight for the first time, and I saw them floating past me and round me and into that room and back, and we were having spirits say to us, "Turn right, turn left." They wanted us in the other rooms because I think that's where they were building up. I think that's where they mainly were. Now, when we first did it, from the link that you've put on there, we were looking into that room and everything was happening. That's why we thought we'd be better based in that room, because there were a lot of stuff there. As we found out as we were going along, things left to us and right to us in these other rooms. And we looked in these other rooms. It wasn't really on your film. I don't think I really went into it on mine. We'd actually spotted that there was people have done ultraviolet markings on there, pointing arrows. We followed the arrows, but we didn't really see anything, and we took the night vision in there. So I think these were being spirits that were trying to separate us or take us away from that room. I think they were trying to get us out of that room. That room was, I think, the main part. I think there's been things that have happened in that room. I sense that somebody may have passed in that room. That's why it seemed really, really strong. Yeah. That was on, right down at the bottom.
Oh, I'll be back in a minute, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. So to add a little bit of history to what we know, when we went there with Abandoned Places, he was telling us a little bit of information because he did some background checks on it. I don't normally do that myself. I just go in blind, and I just find it easier for me. So I'm not thinking of what could be there. But he gave us a little bit of insight and information, and that was there's a big open shaft, and it's got iron bars across it. So it's like a tunnel, but this tunnel goes down and under the ground to a little abbey that's down that way, or a little monastery. So it was something to do with monks. And it's been covered over because it's dangerous. It's like something like a 30-foot drop, but then it goes at a right angle and goes off. But it's all been blocked off. We spoke to a local when we visited, and he says, "Oh yeah, it was filled in a few hundred years ago. They didn't want people down there." But at the other end, where this little monastery or whatever it was filled in there as well. So obviously, there's a psychic connection, a spiritual connection with that and that area. So. If you go to Google Maps or you look on what we videoed last time, I think there was some drone footage for that. The old mansion in the front, which I'll come back to in a minute, that's all boarded up. So this building, I would say it's about a 70s building. I think it was connected to the school that's right next door, but it's fenced off anyway, and it got set on fire. It's had all the doors ripped out, thrown down, the lift shafts, the windows are out. So if you're walking around there, apart from the window frames, there's no to stop you falling out of the window and falling down to your death. It's crazy. So you can go 4 floors up. But there's loads of pigeons in there. It's absolutely full. I wouldn't advise it. Where we were down in the basement, there's no pigeons getting down there. There was an outside area we could get to, but going to the Walton Hall, now there is work that's being done on this place now. When we went last time, we tried to get in to have a look. Apparently, it's still in some pretty good order inside, but obviously it stopped people getting in and doing any damage to it. It's being preserved. It's a one listed building, and there's a guy called Jason Wild who is going out of his way to try and get this place renovated and turned into like a most haunted building to do
it's strange.
ghost hunting. There's posters up and there's cameras up. Now
That's why we didn't go in there, isn't it?
yeah. So Yorkshire Paranormal doesn't know this, but I've actually emailed this gentleman because I'm quite moved with what he's done. He's got quite a portfolio on lots of buildings, but he's a Liverpool lad. I've emailed him. He'll probably tell me to get stuffed, but I've asked if we can actually go in there and have a look around just to record the historics of that building. What pictures I've seen inside looks quite a reasonable place, quite a reasonable building. It would be fantastic for people to go in there and do what we do, but do it obviously on a commercial point of view. It looks really good, and they've had psychics in there, so they know how haunted it is. That building's been around since 1680 something, and there was stuff there well before. So it's got a lot of spiritual connection to that area.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely a lot of spirits, and I think the spirits we were dealing with in the place where we were was actually coming across from that mansion.
Yeah, and from the woodlands. I mean, they mentioned about the children in the woods, so there was a lot of woodland around that area. It's quite a big, a vast area. I'd say it's about nearly 3 acres. Just of that land, and then the school goes down the side of it. So there's a good bit of land, quite a lot of land around it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think if they get that off the ground where they turn it, well, what we saw some signs saying Haunted Hall, Walton Haunted Hall, I think they're going to call it. And these posters look very, very new. And the camera that they had at the front was very, very new. Now, we walked past that several months ago when we looked. Didn't see anything like that. We walked around in the daylight. When we got there, we had torches. We were walking around. We can see that there's people making a difference in that place. And great. I mean, these places need to be kept, for prosperity, for history. I mean, some of the architecture, I don't think some of the architects that we got now would ever think of designing anything like that. Or if they duplicated it, maybe we don't have stonemasons to that level anymore. Or if we do, it'd be very expensive to reduplicate. So we need to preserve what we've got. It's English history, and it's never going to get rebuilt. Not in that way. So it needs to be looked after. You back yet?
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Okay. Drinks a lot of coffee, this guy. So if you if you're ever watching any of his channels, just donate some coffee to him. Keep him going. Yeah, I can hear you in background. But still here. Shh, quiet.
Sorry, just bear with me.
It's all right. So, people, I hope you did enjoy this video. It's probably one of the best ones that we've had ourselves. It definitely affected us. Not in a bad, in a bad way ish, but not in a very bad way. We'll definitely do some stuff like this, and what we've got coming up, it'll blow your minds. We've got some special permission. Can't say where it is. I don't want to cause a problem. I think we will go live at some point, probably near the witching hour. So if some of you people don't sleep well, watch us. I mean, if we don't bore the shit out of you, we'll definitely keep you awake. But this place is nationally known.
Well, it's worldwide known that.
Well, it is, yeah. Some of these, some people have been in it and videoed it. Some people have done some historic information on it. It's connected to monasteries and stuff like that. There's a lot, and there's a fair bit of land around it. So Can't give it away too much. But it's in Yorkshire, so we're not having to travel all the way over to Liverpool, so we can be on it in no time. And we're going to
Yeah,
have
I think
two
that's
other
all you
guys with us as well. So there's
think
going to be
that's all
four
you-
of us on it.
because we don't want to give it away.
No, but we're going to have four other. We're going to be four of us. So I mean, the other two guys bring their expertise into it, and you know they've got some skills. Them guys. I think we spoke to Ryan, didn't we, the other day, Ryan Rampage. He was speaking on one of ours, on one of his as well. He was speaking to some guy in French through Spirit Talker. That were amazing. I was just sat in awe watching him.
If you for anyone who's listening who thinks that necrophonic is a load of shit, then you answer me this question, guys. So Ryan Rampage was talking to a French ghost at the Victoria Arcade Shopping Centre in Keighley, and when I went to Gibraltar with the Gwent Auditor, aka Top Abandoned Places Urbex, he was talking to a spirit in Spanish. So, you know, how can you debunk that? You can't debunk it. It's that simple. You either choose to ignore it. You either choose to disbelieve, which is fine. You know, we like skeptics, or you can believe it. Now, the question you've got to ask yourself, people, is: are people really that naive to believe that there is only one universe, one life form, you know, on a planet out of, you know, I mean, the planets what we know of, what are in our solar system, are just that. They're just the planets what we know of. You know, there's
what about the universe?
The universe, the galaxies. You know, you know, it's absolutely crazy.
I don't think one person on this planet or has been alive can explain it in full. I think it's so vast, and it needs lots of people to explain every little portion that they understand, and it'll never cover it all.
People ask me, how do you know? You know, I've had some seriously skeptic people ask me, how do you know that there's life after death? And I just turn around and say, well, I know for a fact there's life after death because I've spoken to spirits and they've told me.
Yep.
I think I'm Looney Tunes and that I should be locked away in a farm somewhere.
Farm? No. I mean, without going into too much detail, I can actually say that I have died, and I have been somewhere other than here, and I'm back, and I know that there is a different place.
War has died. Now it's up to him if he, you know, wishes to share the story.
I'll tell people. I'll tell people personally. I'm not going to share it on here because I don't want it mocking. Because I'm deadly serious about it, and I ain't that I've got anything to hide. I have told the story so many times, and it's never changed because I only speak the truth. But that's my personal knowledge, my personal belief, my personal understanding. Skeptics, I've had skeptics say talking shit. That's fine. Let them say that. But I've had people, mediums and spiritual people go, yeah, I know. And I've had people actually mention it before I could even mention it when they've said, you've passed away once. It's like, yeah. And that's you know, by mediums and stuff. Now, I'm not saying I'm a full medium. I'm a partial medium. I've never been fully trained in it. I've worked with mediums, and I love working with mediums. I mean, we've got somebody that we want to take out with us, who is, and she's brilliant.
When you say you're a partial medium, does that mean you're a small medium or a medium large?
There's no measurement in it, mate. When I say partial medium,
Yeah, I know
what
what
I
you
mean
mean.
to say,
Just having a bit
yeah,
of a geek.
I don't get what some mediums get. I get mixtures of things, and it's not a constant. I have to work hard at it because my expertise is in Reiki,
Right.
in
Well, I'll
energy.
tell you some. I'll tell you something we can
Yeah.
talk about, guys. So me and
Go on then.
War, I'll tell the story because it's quite
Yeah,
funny.
go on.
So me and War we're in a pub one night, okay, and
Oh, yeah.
this gentleman overheard us talking about paranormals and all that kind of stuff, and War being a partial medium. And he decided to be a bit of a smart aleck, and he came up and he said, "Well, tell me something about me." So War went into, I don't know, were weird. He just
I just
went into
stared.
like
I
a
just
trance
stared at him,
on
and I just waited. I just waited for stuff to come through.
Yeah, and he told him about family holidays. He told him about the interior design of his house, what his bathroom looked like, you know, where his
Mainly his
washing
kitchen.
machine was,
Yeah.
how many
Do you-
doors in his kitchen he had, and this guy.
Do you want me to tell it as it was? I'll tell the story. I'll tell the story. Right. So this guy came up to us. I'd never met him before, and he says, "Oh, I like what you guys do." So you spoke to him a little bit as we went in. I'd not been to the bar. I was stood with somebody else, and we were chatting. And he came over and he stood looking at me. So I just stood for a few minutes, and I just sensed him a lot more. And then I felt spirits, his family spirits, come round, and then they opened up to me. And so I heard what they were telling me, and I was getting visions. And so my spirits were helping me. My guardian spirits were helping me. And this guy was a full skeptic, stand-up comedian. He didn't, you know. So he was looking to make some jokes, and he was getting a bit funny and a bit larry with me. So it started off. I said, "Both your parents passed away not so long ago," and he went, "Yeah, how do you know?" I said, "Well, it's a good guess, then, isn't it?" So he looked at me, and I said, "But they didn't move far away. I'd say within 5 miles." He says, "Yeah, 1.5 miles away." I says, "Your mum was really happy that you got that house, wasn't she? You nearly didn't get it." And he went, "How do you know that?" I went, "No, your mum's telling me." What do you mean your mum's telling me? And then he said, "Well, it's a bit weird because when I get up to go to the bathroom, yeah, you think your dad sat on a chair and your mum stood at the side of him. Well, I think my dad is, and he's staring at me as I go past." I went, "Yeah, he is." He says, "That's weird. How did you know there was a chair in my bedroom?" I went, "It's right near your door." He went, "Yeah." And he was getting a bit stressed at this point. I says, "I'd love to tell you about your kitchen." "Well, what do you mean?"
Well, put it this way: at this point, his face had dropped.
"Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. He was looking at you as well, like a little bit worried, wasn't he?" He didn't know how to take me, but he'd already spoke to you a little bit, so he sort of like moved towards you. So I says, "Well, you got 3 doors, but I can't work this out. I'm getting these pictures. So you've got a door when you go in, and you got to turn right, and then you walk down to the other door which goes outside. But there's a door in the middle, and it's kind of like an old door, and it's got like a handle on it, which the door's kind of rounded, but it's kind of old." But it's not old. It's not an old door. I says, "But isn't a door into really going anywhere?" He says, "No, that's my cupboard where I keep all my stuff." I went, "Yeah." And he went, "That's weird. Tell me more." And I says, "Well, you've got a basket. It's grey. It's got little white wheels, but it's in far corner." He went, "Yeah, that's right. But you don't keep it there all the time. You move it around. But that's where your mum stands and watches you when you do your sandwiches on the morning." He went, "You've been in my house. You've been in." He really kicked off, didn't he? He says, "Who's told you all this? Who's told you you've been in my house?" I went, "Well, no, that's my daughter," because his daughter at the time worked behind the bar. And she says, and he says, "Have you spoke to my daughter?" I went, "I don't even know who your daughter is." "Her there." I went, "I ain't even been to the bar." I says, "I walked in and started talking to you." He went, "Oh, yeah, that's right." I said, "I didn't tell you about your bathroom." "What do you mean? What do you mean?" I says, "Well, you're freaking." And, I missed a bit out right at the beginning when we talked about his family not moving far. And I says, "Well, they could have been in Skegness." And he went, "Why did you say Skegness? Why Skeg?" And he really went funny at that point, didn't he? And I says, "Well, that's why your parents are telling me where they're from." "Well, no, they're not from there, but we've got a caravan there." I says, "Yeah, but it's not your only caravan. You had an old one and it had a blue strip and it was riveted on, and you used to run your finger down. He says, that's right. I says, your mum's showing me, and it's grey, like gunmetal, but it's blue in the middle, and it was like stuck on, and you were used to pick it. Oh, how did you know? How did you know? Anyway, we calmed it all down. We're going back right towards the end, towards his bathroom, and he was saying, so tell me, what about my bathroom? I says, I can't, because you'll freak out. You've had your bathroom done out, mate. I can tell you, like, where you put your toothbrush and what thing it sits in, but I won't tell him, because I was getting told at that point, no more. And I went outside. What did he do to you when I left?
Well, you went outside. I was about to follow, and he grabbed my arm, and I looked at him, and it would drip white. It looked like he'd seen a fucking ghost, mate.
Yeah.
And he went, how does he know all that? And I turned around and I said, well, you don't believe, do you? So it don't matter.
Yeah.
And I walked
but he
out.
did believe, though.
No, he fucking believed after that conversation, mate.
Yeah. And I didn't do that. Well, I really, I was getting told the stuff. I didn't do it to worry him or to scare him. I was concerned for him that he was getting all upset. And he was really bothered about it.
He pushed you into it a little bit.
Well, he pushed his mum into it. It's his mum that was giving me it all. Yeah. And she was so happy for him. And it was, oh yeah, he says, oh yeah, I'm a stand-up comedian. So I says, where do you perform? Oh, Peace Hall and places like that and pubs. I went, oh, I think I should come to one of yours and get you off at stage, heckle you. He says, I'm used to hecklers, I can deal with them. So you won't deal with me, mate. He says, well, why? What would you say? I says, your mum stood at the side of you. I wouldn't say it to him. And he went, oh, don't say that, mate. I'd have to walk off at stage. That'll freak me out. I went, no, I won't do that. And I promised him I won't go to his show and do that. But that would have been funny. He'd have been gone. He'd have been off that stage and gone. I'd have took him down. But I'm not. That's not me. And I wouldn't abuse what I know. And I wouldn't do that to somebody. But he was a nice guy. He just jumped at me at the wrong point, and I was throwing all the information, and I just told him what I knew. But like you say, he would drip white. He grabbed hold of you and wouldn't let you go, would he? He insisted on knowing how I did it.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't explain it to him. It just happens.
Yeah, it's just weird. I mean,
yeah. But I've done this since I was a kid. I've done it since I was a kid, and I mean, you know what's around me. You know what covers me. You know, I mean, we went to the same pub a few months after, and there was a medium there, wasn't there? That's an interesting one. Yes. So there were 38 women in there, and the medium, and 2 blokes, me and you. So we decided to sit in corner out of where.
Yeah, we were all women. Oh, that was weird.
Yeah, and what happened? What happened there?
Well, when she started, when she introduced herself and she told us who she were, what she does, how she does it.
And if people were scared, they can walk out.
Yeah, you were actually the first person. She went up to her, she started speaking to her, and then
looking at me all the time.
She looked at me.
Yeah.
And she said, oh no, that were it.
She couldn't work out which one it was.
You said you're a partial medium.
No. She said to you. She said to you, because you says, I knew you were going to speak to us first. And she says, how do you know that? Are you some clairvoyant? And you went, no, but my mate's a partial medium. And then that way she went, it's about you.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
That way, you set it going. I just wanted to sit there quietly, but no.
I just knew she were going to go to you first. So
yeah, I couldn't hold her off. I tried to block her, but I couldn't hold her off. And we spoke to her in the break, because she goes out of the room, doesn't she, while people are having a break, so she can't hear conversations. So we spoke to her, and I said, I tried to block her. She says, nah, I cut through all that. I can get through all that. That's not a problem to me. I went, oh, flipping great. So I couldn't stop her. She was straight in there. But she was a lovely woman. Absolutely spot on.
Yeah,
and we were talking about our paranormals. And she was saying what we should do and what we shouldn't do. And she turned around and she says, "You guys know what you're doing, didn't she?" Or something like that. She says, "You know what you should do and you know what you shouldn't do."
Yes.
So she didn't tell us that we were doing everything right, and she didn't tell us we were doing everything wrong. But she says, "You know what you're doing and you know what you should be doing."
Well, this is
So-
why someone made a comment a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
Saying, but the activity. You guys seem to always get the devices going off and stuff, and
oh yeah.
I turned around and said, "Well, it's the way it is with me and War.
Yeah.
War's a partial medium. I'm in a sense on some kind of mediumship level.
You are. You're building up. You're learning.
And it's just the way it is,
Yeah.
So if somebody goes somewhere and says, I can categorically guarantee you that's not haunted, me and War could walk in and we could tell you straight away whether it is or not.
You said stuff to me. You've walked in and you went, "Whoa, there's something here," and I've not even switched on because I do a lot of blocking, so I switch things off and I don't have a sense of stuff because I've done that since a child as a protection thing. So it's really easy. I can switch off and go invisible, really, to spirits. You walk in and you go, "Whoa, this place is red hot," and I'll switch on and go, "Oh shit, yeah, you're right." So you lead a lot of it because you're totally open at the moment.
I mean, for anybody who's listening, if you honestly don't know whether a place is haunted or not, or if there's any spiritual activity, just give us a shout. We'll come and tell you if there's something there or not. Seriously, we actually do, or we have done quite a lot of stuff behind the scenes as well. So we've performed house exorcisms. We've helped a few people now, haven't we? Yeah, we've done it. I mean, we've done quite a few paranormals. What have been recorded, what have not been put into public domain.
Yeah, we've done loads of stuff that's really, really strange and like, whoa, don't show that because it's connected to somebody. And we've gone into places. Well, you popped a door open on somebody's flat once, didn't you? And that they were giving up because they couldn't stay in there any longer. And you said to me, "I think this place is haunted. We'll go have a look." The guy gave us the keys. We walked in, and I went, "There's a bloke stood in that corner of the room." The bloke had moved all his stuff out. He was about to keys given back, and you went, "What? Where? There?" And you could sense something, but I was saying, "There's a bloke. I can see a bloke walking across there," and all sorts were going off. So that stuff we hadn't even put out.
Yeah,
we've done loads of stuff, haven't we?
So Colette just commented saying that she's open to it and that she sees all sorts in her house. Now, I can't really find the right words to put this together. But do you want to explain how women are more open to seeing things?
Yeah, it's really easy. It's really easy. Right. So if you look at it from a scientific point of view, men have couple of neural pathways between the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. You can check this out. Women have more connections, so they are more in tune with the left hand side, which is more in the spiritual sense of things. So they have different avenues and they think differently. So it's not about men from Mars and women from Venus. It's not none of that. It's just how women's brains are different. Now, also in the pineal gland. What tends to happen with men, the pineal gland, which is your third eye, is basically, if you want, people want to look this up, your pineal gland is right in the center of it is a small crystal. Now, nobody puts it there. It develops as you're a baby, as a fetus. The reason they found these things is because they've done autopsies, and every organic thing has this pineal gland in the center, has a little crystal. They reckon it's for tuning and its frequency, but women seem to have less stuff attached to theirs, and it's down to like certain chemicals. So, like your fluorides and your chloride, and there's a couple of other elements seem to be drawn to that. People that tend to be vegan women tend to eat differently, and metabolic. What is it? Not what is it? Their bodies tend to throw out a lot of these things where men's don't seem to do that. Don't cleanse it. So it's about cleansing as well, and being more spiritually minded and more doing meditation work, maybe Tai Chi like I do. That kind of stuff opens that up and helps keep it clear. So men, unfortunately, tend to be a little bit different. And there's one more aspect to this. So people's auras tend to be more forward vision. So people's energies tends to be more forward. Now, with a woman, their peripheral vision is a lot wider than a man's. A man is a hunter-gatherer, directly looks at an animal and chases it and catches it. Is that his primal job? Women, as they were Stone Age type of thing, used to have lots of children around and used to have to keep an eye out for animals coming in. So their visual preference, vision was much wider. And it's still to this point now. So from a aura sense, women tend to have that energy thrown out a little bit more perception. So that's why women pick up on a spiritual sense more than men. Does that explain it? Or have I waffled on too much?
No. I mean, I just wanted you to explain it for.
I can be a little bit boring. I can be a little bit geeky, but that's what I've learned over the years and what I've been told by people and what I've read into. I may be wrong, but I don't think I am.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's geeky. I'd say it's fact. You know.
It's scientific fact. I always want to get a scientific look on things. Some people are gifted. You can. The Victorians found a dye called diasin, which is a purple dye, and they made glasses out of it. You can see spirits. When people die and have an out-of-body experience, such as I, that dye tends to be released in their brain, and it floats around in their brain until until the body gives up and releases it. But it's in the brain, and they reckon that this dye that floats around in people is the aid to seeing things and sensing things. So if you kill yourself for a couple of minutes and then come back, you've got a chance that this dye is floating around. It's scientific. It's proven that it happens. So when they look at dead bodies, they find a large amount of that in the body. They don't find it when they've done brain operations, they don't find it. So there you go. So that's another factor to it.
Well, it's an answer to a question what you didn't ask, but hopefully that gives you a little bit more of an insight as to.
It's a bit morbid as well.
You know why women are generally better at being in tune than men. So
it's women are generally a lot calmer and a lot. Men can be aggressive, can't they? I mean, some women can be aggressive, but generally speaking, women are more placid, men are more aggressive, and it's just how we've developed over the years. So, that's how it happens.
So, I mean, while we're on the panel, if we've got anybody who wants to ask any questions,
fire away.
Because we're not going to be live for much longer.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I have had a bit of a unexpected
toilet activity.
I've had some stuff going to me what I wasn't expecting tonight, so I don't have the time what I had earlier, or what I thought I had initially to actually be live and stuff. So I'm actually going to have to go soon. So if anyone's got any questions, they want to fire
away quickly.
Fire them, get them across.
And if not, save them for next time, because we'll probably keep doing this because
we will. So
it's building.
So the plan is for us to go to do a live after every paranormal premiere. So that's the plan. Now, obviously, people will be welcome to jump on the panel. Unfortunately, I did stop it a while ago due to people coming on and then jumping on live screen and showing explicit things, and
we don't want that.
Trying to ruin it for everybody else. So I had to knock it on the head. But for any serious people who want to come on and talk about paranormal,
could always drop you a message and say, next time you're doing one, this is who I am, and maybe a little bit of a vetting, and then we'll let them through, because skeptics as well.
All I ask is for somebody to come on, and what will happen is when you click on the link, what I put in the comments, that will take you into StreamYard. All you have to do is enter the studio and turn your camera on. That is so I can see who is waiting in the background. Now, other people can't see, only I can. As soon as I see the person and I know they're legit and they're wanting to come on for a chat, you can then turn your camera off and I will add you onto the panel. So, and
then you can fire away with your questions or input as much as you want. If you're totally skeptic and you want to slag us off, give it your best shot. We don't really want that to happen because it can be very negative sometimes. But if people do have, a skeptic point of view, we'll welcome it. We'll try to explain what we understand. We might not have the answers. Maybe you have some answers for us, and maybe not.
Yeah, definitely. So it is something we are going to be looking at rolling out, getting people.
Yeah, expanding on. Because we want to be fair with people. Yeah. Want to be fair with people. We want people to have their opinions and open, free expression.
Yeah.
Well, for that.
Just be careful though, for anyone who listens to this. Don't try and take advantage of the situation, because you are dealing with a couple of real mean motor schoolers, okay? In myself and West Hornet Report. And we also have links to white witches, dark witches, potions and spells and all that kind of creepy stuff. So, I mean, you wouldn't want, your head falling off in the middle of the night, would you?
That ain't going to happen. That could come across as a threat. No. We don't wish that to anyone. And to be honest, he's only joking. But to be honest, if people want to come into it and they want to participate and they want to, even the skeptics, I keep going on about that because I have a lot of respect for skeptics. I like the challenge. I like people's points of view. Might not agree with them, but it's really valuable because it gives people assurance that we're being bona fidely honest about it. And also in that, what I would say is a word of caution. If you come in and you want to be flippant and you want to be funny about it, I've had dealings with this since I was nearly 5. So what I would say, I have a lot of friends that are white witches and that. I don't want to get into that level. I have dealt with that level. I understand that level. But what I am saying is, I have guardian spirits, and
it actually sounds like you're making a threat now, my friend.
No, it ain't a threat. It ain't a threat. What I'm trying to say is, I don't want anyone to fall foul, because if you come into it in a negative way and in a nasty way, aimed at us, because we've had situations happen, which I'm not going to go into detail. We've had a situation, and we've had other mediums speak to us like, "Why is this guy stood in my living room giving me a load of shit?" And I've had to explain who it is and why. And that person's like, "Well, why me?" Well, because to see you as a threat. I've had to get my spirits to back down because it's been a little intense for them. Now everything's fine. Yeah. Because we've sorted out what that issue is. I don't want people in that issue. I don't want my spirits going after people and hurting them. Well, not hurting them, bothering them, should I say, because they're not about hurting people. Spirits don't really want to do that. But maybe people think I'm talking bullshit. That's fine. Think whatever you want. Don't challenge me. Well, I don't want people involved in it.
This is why, we like skeptics, because
because they bring a new light to it and a clear perspective. Didn't we have somebody saying that they thought we were putting magnets under K2 meters and stuff?
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
pod.
They thought we were rigging our equipment.
And we've asked them to come out with us, and they can put the equipment down and check it out, and then explain to us why stuff's flashing.
Yeah, that's
It's
what it is.
sort of stuff we do.
People taking piss and stuff, but they won't come out with us, you know. But absolutely, you know, scared. They'll sit and they'll type a load of shite on the keyboard, but then when it comes to walking plank, they don't want to do it.
But do you know what? I'd watch over them and I'd protect them the best I can. I mean, I can't guarantee out because I'm just a mere mortal. But
I mean, we've actually only ever taken two independent observers out, and one of them got psychically attacked by the spirits.
Yeah.
So
we don't want people getting hurt.
That were crazy.
Yeah.
That were at the witch's house. Revisit.
Yeah. And she wasn't a skeptic either.
No, she wasn't.
Yeah.
She actually sees sees ghosts, you know, in full form.
I actually enjoyed working with her because I was picking up on the sense of stuff, and I was saying, "Oh, this is Jasmine," and she says, "No, her name's not Jasmine, but she doesn't mind you saying that." And it was a perfume that this previous, this spirit used to wear in normal life, and so that were her way of connecting with me. And when we went into a different part, she got attacked, so I had to use my abilities in Reiki to help her, which worked fine. But unfortunately, didn't she take something back home with her, and she had to get rid of them?
Yeah, very quickly. So for anyone who's wondering what video we're talking about, I've just put the link down in the comment section, so you can go check that out for yourself if you wish. Yes, she actually took a spirit home with her inadvertently. So something followed her. She had to go back the next day.
Release it back into there.
Basically, this spirit was following her. So she went back the next day. Spirit followed her again back to the witch's house, and she had to physically tell the spirit, you have to stay here. You're not welcome to follow me.
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff we do really. Said a little blessing and then left, and then she were okay. It stayed there.
Yeah. But we get it. We've had things climbing all over you. I've had things jumping on my shoulders and stuff, and people think it's funny. What did they say? Ghost Tai Chi. That was quite funny, really. I mean, they must have sat for ages thinking about that. But anyway, no harm done.
That were a skate cliff, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had two imps all over me, and I couldn't get away from them. Yeah. But that's another story. So if people want to search that one out, have a look. You might think it's a bit weird, but it's the shit that I do anyway. And since then, all we've had we went to Keighley, didn't we? And the spirit talker were talking, and didn't Josh Pablo explain with Pablo? Didn't he say, if War leaves this room, what'll happen? And it said scratch, and they said to me, "Don't leave." So the spirits, every time I went near them, they backed off.
Yeah.
So they were a little bit worried about me with spirits, and it's not that I'm out special.
So
yeah,
Toby got scratched.
He did. He got scratched and he got possessed as well. So I had to get that little monkey off his back.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to feel what possession's like, and I told him straight away, it's like your head's been shaking around in your skull. And when we got him outside, he went, "That's exactly what he was like." And I knew what he was going through. I've had situations, so I know what it's like. So he he learned a lot. He's matured with that, apparently.
Definitely. So for anyone it was, I wouldn't say, right, so people who are listening might think we're a little bit bonkers by saying he got possessed. Now, basically, right, so there is 3 forms of possession, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one is infestation, which there was a massive infestation at the place where we were. Okay, so obviously infestation, that means the spirits there, they're all around us, etc., etc.
All the orbs were all over
and
them.
then the next stage is oppression. Okay, now whilst we were down there for the time we were down there, the oppression on Toby was very, very overwhelming. So we were oppressing him. Obviously making him doubt himself, making him feel down, making him feel ill.
See it in the video.
And then you can see it in the video. And then obviously the third stage is possession. Now, if you watch that video at the end during the seance, you can his head keeps dropping. Okay, so that is the spirits trying to possess him, trying to get inside him. Now, people might think I'm talking shit, but it's true. It's not just in movies, it's real life as well.
Yeah, they're climbing through his back.
You could literally see him struggling. So then he had to move. And then at the end of the seance, War basically got rid of the spirit, got it off him. Now, I know he did it. I know he did it 1,000,000% because he's done it to me. He's helped me in that exact same situation. And then gave him an EMF tourmaline protection pendant. Okay, he's
not taken it off, has it? Months ago. He speaks differently now. He used to have pentagons and stuff and devil stuff in his bedroom. He just took it all and threw it in bin.
It was taking the piss.
Yeah.
So this particular place where we were, there was a poltergeist down there called Emma. Okay, now Emma back in the late 1800s were a working girl, and she murdered a 4-year-old child because the child kept interrupting her lifestyle and her work. She strangled her to death. Now all this information we got down there about Emma, so we got the name. We got that she killed her daughter. I think it was her daughter. We made contact with her on the spirit box and during a seance. Now, the caretaker of the said place, I only ever met him once, and he said, "When you guys leave, I will tell you the things I know and the things people have told me."
He won't tell us all at the beginning.
He won't tell us anything. Then when we left, we were talking to him. And he asked what name we got. And I said, Emma. And he just smiled and he said, everybody who's done a paranormal investigation down here has come out and said the same name.
Yeah. I freaked him out, didn't I? He called me weird. I freaked him out when we were talking at end. So I said, there's a spirit stood outside here, he's a bloke. And he went, what near me? And then didn't something happen where he said, somebody just walked over there? I went, yeah, it's a spirit. No, it's one of you guys. I went, no, we're all stood here. We're all in front of you. I've just seen somebody over there. Yeah, it's the bloke that was being stood outside you for ages. He says, you're weird, you scare me.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. He was a nice guy. I liked him. I told him a few things and I don't think he liked, but I didn't like it. He was just a little bit taken back with stuff I was telling him about him. But I've forgotten what I said to him now, but he said I was weird.
I think what I'm going to do on the next... Right, so guys, there is not going to be another video now for a couple of weeks, okay? I've put 3 videos out quite close together. So the next video, it's not going to be for a couple of weeks, and it's going to be... The next video is going to be the big one, what we've been talking about.
Yeah, the special one.
Now, I'm going to be doing a live afterwards, but I'm going to bring some special guests to the live. So my camera is going to be on, and I'm going to set my table up in the kitchen. I'm going to get a cloth, and I'm going to bring some special guests. I'm going to introduce you to my haunted dolls. Okay?
Ooh, right.
And then we're gonna put some cat balls down and some K2 meters and some REM pods. So it's gonna be an interesting one. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be in a couple of weeks' time.
Hmm.
So that's something to look forward to. I know Gavin. I've not had Gavin out for quite a while. Obviously, the haunted dolls don't live with me; they're in another location. So Gavin has not. I've not seen him. Well, I see him out, but I've not spent any time with him for quite a while. But I'm gonna get my hands on. What's his face? What's he called now?
Marcus.
Oh, Marcus is going to be joining the panel because I'm gonna collect him because, quite honestly, the person who he is with now has not had him out of the cupboard since we did the paranormal in Keighley, which was, I can tell you exactly,
5 months.
I can tell you exactly when it was. I'm going to go look now. I'm going to go look. $5 months. Yeah, he's spot on there, what?
Yeah, I know.
So about 5 or 6 months, going on 6 months. So he's not been out of the cupboard since. So he's a friendly spirit. He absolutely loves me. I mean, for anyone who watched that video, they were going up. The K2 were going absolutely nuts when I was speaking to him.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be pulling him in for a chat as well.
That'll be good.
So it should be good. It should be good. So I've not had any questions coming through, so I'm assuming
everyone's fallen asleep.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. Everyone's fallen
boredom silly.
Boredom silly.
Yeah, that's my job.
Yeah, with boredom silly, mate.
Fair enough.
Right, so
right, we're gonna finish this off then.
Yeah,
yeah,
we may as well.
We've got things to do.
Wrap it up. I'm gonna.
Okay.
Well, I've not really got things to do, but I just need to go into a different room, and I can't take my laptop with me. So, thank you for everybody who watched the video tonight. The Walton Hall revisit. Well, I say Walton Hall, but it wasn't Walton Hall. It was just the building the building what has no name.
Yeah.
So thank you for everybody who came to watch that. It was absolutely amazing. So big up to everybody who has joined the chat, the Abandoned Places.
Thank you for all the comments.
Ella. And I know there's been some people ghosting as well tonight. So big up to all them.
Can I thank the people that joined us on the actual night on the live? And thank you for tuning in on us.
Yeah, of course you can, yeah. So for TikTok Live, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for all those people. We will be doing it again.
100%. Yeah, so as always, guys, are you ready for this, boy?
I'm ready.
As always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.
And check out my channel. There's a video of what's just gone out tonight, similar. So
yes,
catch you on the flip side, everyone.
Definitely. Go check West Nordic Report out. Give him a subscribe. His video has gone out tonight. It got released during my premiere. Go check his out. Check his point of view out, his perspective. I'm going to go watch it as well. And
Thank you.
We'll see you all in a couple of weeks' time. Good night.
Catch you on the flip side. Good night, all. And good night, Mr. Paranormal.
Good night, Mr. War.